Hi friends and welcome to Only Green. Mohan Thomas is a wildlife photographer and a civil engineer. He's traveled around the world for his passion for photography. Thomas Mohan is basically a civil engineer born and raised in Bangalore, India. Hailing from a photography family, he started photography at a very young age with a Yashica box camera. He is the winner of Muthukulam Raghavan Pillai Award in 2015, DCP Photographer of the Year in 2015 and 2016, and also FIAP Biennial World Cup Gold Medalist. He is a Nikon Influencer and the Managing Partner of Canaan Group, which is into real estate projects. Welcome, Mohan sir, to Only Green.
Thank you, Abhi. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show. It is a privilege to be here.
Okay. Now, having been equipped with a BTech in civil engineering and having worked in civil engineering field for a long time, how did you get attracted towards photography? Have seen you describing your photography journey as a dream come true. Can you give us an insight into that?
See, as you said, photography was a passion in me from my college days. I had been doing a little bit of photography, but about 22 years back, a friend of mine invited me to a jungle safari in Karnataka, a place called Biennial.
Okay.
That is where the actual passion got ignited, and then onwards it was a regular visit for me to the jungles of different parts of the world.
Okay. I've heard you say once that your first journey with your friend was an eventful one.
Yes, it was a very eventful one. We were charged by group of elephants, and it was scary for the people who were with me, but somehow I got hooked to it, and that was the beginning of my wildlife photography.
That's interesting. Now, I mean, having been attracted towards photography and that too wildlife photography, can you take us through some of your cherished trips? I mean, you've been to the Maasai Mara National Reserve in Kenya and also to the Arctic Ocean. Can you give us some colorful memories that you still have with you?
So, I would like to give you a background of how it started. See, when I started, there were no social media, no Facebook, no Instagram, no YouTube, and there were not many people ready to teach you.
Okay.
Most of the people who were already there in wildlife photography, they were mainly there for awards. Okay. So, and I mean, even any small doubts you want to ask, it was very difficult to get it clarified. So, most of my photography is self-learned.
Okay.
And I started in those days from South Indian jungles. Many of you all know, but it will be surprising for a new wildlife photographer when I tell you, it took me 12 years to see my first tiger.
Okay.
It took me 12 years. Nowadays, anybody who picks up a camera and goes into the jungle, most probably on the first safari itself, they will see more than a tiger. That is the present situation. But those days, it was different. So it took me 12 years to see my tiger. And then onwards, I've seen quite a lot of tigers since then.
Okay.
And I've visited a lot of places like Maasai Mara, Tanzania, South America, Finland, Arctic, Russia, many places for different species like brown bears, polar bears, jaguars. And I was lucky to spot them and photograph them also.
Okay.
So it was a very pleasant journey thus far. There were few ups and downs. I have gone through some very tight situations also.
Okay.
When I met an accident on a way to a photography, which was really a bit bad. Even I had myself given up that I might survive that thing. Okay. I had to undergo a brain surgery. And one thing I want to tell you, my entire family, everybody was worried. Even I was worried I will not survive that brain surgery.
Which year was this?
It was in 2012.
Okay.
So the previous day, the doctor walks into my room and comes to my bed and says, Thomas, tomorrow we are going to do your surgery. But the previous 3-4 days, they were not even able to do a surgery on me because my condition was so bad, they couldn't do a surgery. Then they revived me a little bit, and then they said, tomorrow we might do your surgery. And they said, okay, doctor, and probably you will pull through, not to worry.
Okay.
And then he said, in your surgery, you will lose a vital organ in your brain. And these are the drawbacks that you are going to face in your life. So you have to be. And the doctor looked at me, and all I asked him was, but doctor, can I lift my 600 lens and shoot?
Okay. The passion was still there.
Yeah. Can I lift my 600 lens again? The doctor looked at me and then looked at my wife and said, this is he, in his sense. I'm talking about life-threatening things, and he's talking about lifting 600 So that photography and that passion is always there.
You pull through that and continue.
Yes. Yes. It has been 10 years since then. Thank God I have survived that.
Okay. And can you give us some insights into your Maasai Mara trip?
Maasai Mara, I have gone there 14 times.
Oh, okay.
I have gone there 14 times. Maasai Mara, usually it's called the Mecca of wildlife.
Okay.
Wildlife photography. Unlike in India, where you will have to track your subject, if you're a leopard or a tiger or whatever, our jungles are mostly dense. You will have to really work to track and find a tiger or a leopard. But Maasai Mara, that being mostly a grassland, the sighting or finding your subject is much easier. You can spot them from a kilometer away. Okay. So I've never heard of anybody coming back from Maasai Mara without any photographs or without seeing the animals.
Okay. And what about the art? Okay, tell me.
Yeah, so the people who go there, their target is to see the big five.
Okay.
So usually they would have, most of the people, they would see it. Might be the rhino they might miss, but usually they see the other things. The chances of seeing all the animals are pretty much high there in Maasai Mara.
Okay. And what about the Arctic region?
Arctic region is, I have been there twice. So we take a flight from Oslo in Norway. Oslo is the capital of Norway, and it's a 3-hour flight from Oslo, and we land in a place called Longyearbyen. It is a group of island called Svalbard Island.
Okay.
So this Longyearbyen has a airport in that.
Okay.
So once you land there, you stay there around that. It's a small, very small place. Hardly about a couple of thousand people stay there.
Oh.
So you just acclimatize yourself, and then next day you board a ship. It's a small ship, and the next 10 days you are on the lookout for mainly polar bears.
Okay.
Mainly polar bears and a lot of other things like reindeer, walrus. You can see the orcas or the whales also sometimes. Okay. It was a amazing experience. That's why I repeated it once again.
Okay. Now, I mean, it all starts as a passion. The photography starts as a passion, and beyond a point, you will reach a situation where you are trying to convey something through your photographs. So, I mean, if there is a message that you want to convey through your wildlife photography, what could be that?
See, initially it was all about seeing an animal and just photographing. Now, as you have gone and you have seen and photographed so many this thing, now that this thing, it is automatic, or it automatically comes to you that you have to conserve this wildlife for your coming generation.
Okay.
Do whatever you can do. I feel photography is a tool towards conservation, because through photography people see what that animal is, and they will have that love towards that animal, which leads to the conservation.
Okay. Now I think your next generation, your son is also getting into it, Thomas, Nirmal, Mohan.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now that very clearly shows your keenness to have the younger generation also joining this passion. What will be your message for aspiring youngsters who want to come into this wildlife photography? In terms, I'm not referring to the equipment here. I'm referring to a general mindset that is required to get into this.
I always say, be responsible photographers. We have heard and seen people going out of the way for photography. Please don't do that. Okay. Be responsible photographers. Don't disturb your subject. Most of all, if possible, before you pick up your camera, pick up a binocular, study the subject, learn about the subject, know their behavior and habits. So many a times it can save your life also. Many a time it can save your life, because see, when you are going for a macro photography, when you are shooting a viper, you must know when it is trying to attack you.
Okay.
So at least that much you must know.
Okay.
You must study your subject, and there are so many cases of wildlife photographers with their photographs were instrumental in saving a lot of wildlife, birds and animals. There are so many instances, like a person goes to Nagaland, videographs Amur falcons being caught, and he shares it. And now it is totally different. They are conserving it. Every year there should be 10,000s being killed there. Now that doesn't take place. So whenever you come across something which you can help the wildlife, please do it.
Okay.
Please share it. Please share it with your concerned authorities, so that they will be able to save that species.
So which means basically it is to understand that the entire spectrum of wildlife is necessary for our ecosystem, and be responsible in terms of sharing any mishaps or any attacks towards wildlife, so that people are aware about it and we conserve the wildlife, which is very
true. Do your bit, even if it is small or big, whatever. Just do your part. I mean, if everybody think like them, likewise, you can really make a big difference for the wildlife.
Okay. When we started the conversation, you mentioned that 2 decades back, when you started following your passion, there was no formal training, or there was sort of a competition for awards. Yeah. Now we've reached a stage where this goes into the social media and goes viral. Is there any initiative that you have taken up to educate, or rather give a sort of formal training to the youngsters coming to this field?
Me and a friend of mine, we have started a small YouTube channel called ProView.
Okay.
We have been interviewing a lot of top-notch photographers, and we were planning to start teaching.
Okay.
Post-processing, photography, and whatever we could share through that this thing. And in the COVID lockdowns, we used to do a lot of workshops.
Okay.
Free workshops for the photographers.
Okay.
So these are there. And now, once the lockdown, we saw the hardship of the people. We have formed a registered body called Pigs for Cause. There are about 40 photographers in that. Very good photographers. There are IFS officers, IPS officers, everybody in that group. I am the president of that group. We have donated all our images into that website.
Okay.
And we are selling those images internationally. And all that 100% of the money coming from that, we are using it for charity.
Okay.
Helping the people related with the wildlife. Last lockdown, we were able to feed 1,300 poor people every day for the entire lockdown period.
people who are in the periphery of forests.
This was in the slums of the cities.
Okay, okay.
And now we are actually planning to help a lot of these people who are involved with wildlife. That there could be guards, forest guards, there could be drivers, there could be naturalists. So this is what. So I thought we let us put our images for a good cause.
Okay, okay. Now you travel with your son?
Yes, whenever we get a chance, we go.
Okay, okay.
He has finished his studies now. He comes with me sometimes.
I think on Instagram I've seen a couple of photographs where he's also there with you.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, I mean, going forward, if I ask you, which are the destinations that you would love to go? I mean, further. I mean, I think you've covered a lot of exotic places, but then still in your bucket list, what are those places?
I would love to go to Japan, Hokkaido. It's a place called Hokkaido.
Okay.
I would like to go there. I would like to go to South America. A couple of destinations are there.
Okay.
I haven't done the Indonesia, orangutans and all that. These are some of the things which I would like to, if possible.
Okay.
I'm also getting old.
Okay. Now, we've done a video with the person who took that photograph where orangutan was extending an arm to a forest guard to save him out of water.
Yeah.
We've done an interview earlier with him.
Okay. So these are this thing. And if you have noticed, since the last 3-4 years, from wildlife, there's a small shift towards the landscape, macro,
Okay.
portraits. I'm trying different genres of photography.
A quick insight into the equipment that you use. What I mean, from your Canon box, I mean, Yashica box camera to where you're now. I mean, what is the transition like?
I've always been with Nikon.
Okay.
So once I left the point and shoot, my first DSLR was a D200 and 18-200.
Okay.
Then it gradually went up. Then I bought a 80-400. Then I found it is very slow. Then I bought a 200-400. Then I thought I should get a sharper image, and I went for 400 2.8.
Okay.
Then I went to 600, and most of the equipments are still with me.
Okay. All the earlier equipments are also still with you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, sir. I mean, it's been an interesting, maybe last 20-25 minutes of our discussion. Any message, any message that you want to tell our viewers?
From the point of saving our nature and our environment, it is already getting too late. Our environment and nature is going away from our hand. Please see that it doesn't deteriorate further. Let us save whatever is left. Without this, even our livelihood or our life itself will be in danger. Please save this environment, save this world, save this planet. This is my humble request.
That's a great message, sir. Thanks a lot. I mean, we always say in our channel that Only Green is all about making our world a greener place for our future generation.
Yeah.
This is you put it very correctly. How it's already late for us to respond to the call of the nature in terms of protecting it. Thanks a lot, sir, for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.